Okay, hi, how's everyone doing? So, this is my videos, this little crooked thing. I'm so upset, annoyed by it. My hair up here doesn't, it just puffs up. I'm just like, give me the length I desperately desire. Put on here, but like up here, so, and I don't do it so tight, so, there's that. This video is going to be kind of like sleep essentials for me, and just kind of like how I get a good night's rest. So I'm going to show some of the products that I use for that and some general like tips and stuff like that. So number one would be getting a good night's rest is really important because you just want the optimal brain health. You don't want to be sluggish. You don't want to be like tired. You want to be able to concentrate, especially if you work in environments where like you have to concentrate and really be on your like A game. Like some jobs you can kind of get away with being a slacker, but for the most part you want to be alert, especially if you're dealing with things like you're entering numbers for something, or you're dealing with like patients because you're like a nurse or a doctor, or you're an attorney, or you work in fast food and you need to like record people's meals and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to be like, there's a level of mental acuity you like need to have, and I think a proper night's rest plays very much like it plays a part in that. So you want to get a good night's rest. The first thing I think you should do is kind of determine how much sleep you need as a minimum and a maximum. And the reason why I also include maximum is sometimes we go over the amount of sleep that our body needs, and then it ends up having an adverse effect. Like we're very groggy, we're very like sluggish and stuff like that. So a little bit about me. When I was younger, I also had like depression, but when I was younger, I would sleep very long periods of time, and you would think that I would be rested, sleeping like 9-10 hours, but I was not. I was not well rested at all, and I would wake up very sluggish and behind, like foggy, and I just felt like I was struggling throughout the day to do basic things. Now this is like high school ish, because that was a very depressive time in my life, but I like also slept a lot. Like I slept a lot actually, and my sleep habits was I of course stayed up as a teenager reading or doing whatever. Usually like I was reading a lot, like a lot of period novels and stuff like that. When I say period novels, I mean like novels set in certain periods, usually like Regency, England, Europe type things, romance type things. Not necessarily ones with like Fabio-esque characters on the cover, but I was into that. But yeah, like I would go to sleep and sleep long period of time, weekends, long periods of time, except when I had SAT prep, I would get up early, but even still, I would probably go to sleep when I came home, and I would take a lot of naps. I did nap a lot when I was in my teens and 20s. Definitely in my 20s, I felt like I napped a lot. But I felt like I slept too much, and as I got older, I kind of realized, like, 10 hours is excessive for me. 10 hours is very excessive for me, but I do like to sleep. A good space for me is like 8 to 8.5 hours. That's a really sweet spot for me. And I try to make it a minimum of 7.5 hours now. So 7.5 to 8.5, somewhere in there. I'm pretty good. I may still need a nap depending on what I'm trying to do, but I'm pretty good. And I'm like tired. And I went to sleep. I can't even call it a nap. A nap is like an hour for me. I slept for like 3 hours. But I'm about to go back to sleep. It's almost 1:30 in the morning. So it's kind of like I kind of burned that off. So knowing the minimum that you need and the max is really helpful. Another thing is making sure that you have the right temperature in your space and the right lighting in your space, preferably not having this on in your room. I rarely do videos in this room, but my granddad moved downstairs, so I don't want to like have lights and be talking while he's trying to sleep. So now I'm doing stuff in the room. I'm gonna try and make an office where he used to be. Blah blah blah. I say all that to say I rarely have this light overhead on. I usually turn this light off and have my lamp light. And having my lamp light be the main light really helps. I know some people do like red lights. I know some people maybe like candlelight. When there's storms, I usually read by candlelight and I just take my ass to bed because it's like, this is getting to me, you know? So definitely deal with the lighting. I also grew up not using a lot of light because we have a lot of natural light in here. So my room has 2 windows. Natural lighting is like very abundant in here during the day unless it's very cloudy. So it's rare that I need this. Even at night, I don't tend to have this on. Like I said, have my lamp. So making sure your lighting situation, like you're able to wind down, your temperature wise, are you warmer? Are you not? I like to have a cooler room. But I do like to have a certain type of bedding situation. So that's another thing. Having clean bedding, nice bedding, bedding that suits your needs, pillows and stuff like that. I still have to work on the pillow part. But having like that sort of setup also helps because your body shifts during the night. Are you a side sleeper, a back sleeper, a stomach sleeper? Are you all of the above, like type thing? Is your mattress firm? Is it soft? Those things you might want to answer as well. For me, I need weight on my feet. And generally I need to have my feet in socks in the wintertime until my bed down here gets toasty enough, then I take them off. I also don't wear pajamas. So I just wear like a tank and that's pretty much it. Like tank and underwear, that's pretty much it. I don't wear pajamas, I don't wear nightgowns, I don't wear anything. So like just be as free as you want to be. But definitely consider your bedding. Some people really do need the gravity blanket type deal, like a heavier blanket. It's just very grounding to me to have like the blanket at my feet, and I notice when I don't have it, when it falls on the floor, or like when I've taken it off. I've literally like, it's like I feel something's missing. It's a safety thing for me to have it, and it's a very like, it's just very grounding and anchoring, and it helps me fall asleep. Like the weight helps me. So I have blankets on my bed. Like I have a blanket and they're heavier and I use them year round. I used to take them off, but I can't do that because of the weight I need on my feet. So those are some of the things that you want to consider in terms of your actual environment. Lastly, this is one that I did use previously, but I don't use so much anymore. So it would be if you have some sort of sleep machine, like if you're someone who needs to drift off to sleep by having sound, I would invest in some sort of machine. Now I had this one and it's like this, and you can change it. It's from, I don't know, I think it's from Sharper Image or something like that, but you could fade it out. You can set the timer, volume, so I can turn it down. Relax, sleep, renew, and then it has these. So under relax, it has these 4. Under sleep, it has these, and then under renew, it has these. So if I want to go to renew, it's rainforest, ocean, tranquil, relax. Then we have sleep, stream. Campfire was my favorite one. Calm, meditate, and the relax is white noise, rain, ambience, peace. So I recommend this. This used to randomly also go off. Like I would be listening to it and I would have the timer set for 30 minutes and it would go off and I'm like, what spiritual energy is in my fucking room? Because I did not turn this joint off. Like I would set it to like 92 and it'd be like, it would like crackle, 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 and then it'd be like silent. And if I hadn't fallen asleep, I would notice that. And that felt even scarier than not having sound. It was like, yo, what happened? So I don't use this as much, but consider getting a noise machine if you like need that, you know? So these are some other things that I bought that have helped me, and there's gonna be like the main one that helped me. So the first is like scented things that help me fall asleep. So Earth Therapeutics Dream Silk Comfort Cream. This is something I put on my hands because my hands be dry and shit at night. Look at it already ashy. So I put this on and it has that lavender which calms you down for me. Some people like lavender doesn't like make them sleepy or tired or anything like that. For me, it kind of does calm me down. So I use it on my hands, and then I spray this on my like pillow and in my bed. It's this, and they both have valerian and lavender in them. So lavender, as you know from the plant, is part of the mint family, and then valerian is used. If you ever read period novels, I think they talk about valerian and quite a few of those things. It's to sedate, usually, and valerian is pretty cool. Like I like it. I'll go to the next product, and I don't have it, but it's patches. So you know, like period patches and stuff like that. There are sleep patches. The brand that I used was it's called like Fleur or something like that. I've used the Good patch, but I use that more for my period. So I got the Fleur Marche Sleep Please patches. So they had like melatonin in here, but they also had like a little bit of valerian. Yeah, so I got like one of them. Yeah, I think I got mostly valerian. I got valerian and hops. Yeah, so I got valerian and hops. The thing with valerian, I'm not a medical doctor, but I did learn this because I looked it up. The thing with valerian, for me, it made my mouth really dry. Like I would go to sleep. I would put the patch on. I would put the patch on, I would go to sleep, and I would wake up and my mouth would be very dry. Another thing is valerian gave me very crazy dreams, and you have to watch your like heart rate and stuff like that. So like I'm not recommending it for y'all. It was a decision that I made, okay? But you know, if you want to consider it, talk to your doctor if it doesn't interfere with any medications or anything like that. Like, you know, get your clearance from them, not me. I'm just a chick on the internet that's telling you about some things to consider, not things to necessarily do. But yeah, sleep patches for me are a thing. So I will probably invest in some more. I might try the melatonin ones. Let me show you. That's what it looks like. Because I don't edit my videos, and I'm like, it's right there, and it's like pops up, and I ain't got time for that shit. Y'all saw it. So there's that. Next would be, I am going to get a new one because I think this is pretty old. Moon Juice Magnesium Berry Calm and L-Theanine Relaxation and Sleep. I have used this. Oh, this is hanging. I was like, what is on the floor? I have used this before. I think this is more effective in terms of like if you really want to go to sleep immediately. I feel like this powder really helps. It comes in like that, and then you put it in your water and then drink it and then go to sleep. This doesn't taste bad. I personally tried to do another powder and that shit was nasty. I don't think it was the same. And if it was a different flavor, and that flavor was disgusting. Anyway, but I like this. I don't use it that often, as you can see. Like, it's pretty full. But I do like powders. So I am someone who will use medicinal type shit if I need help to sleep, because if I need help to sleep, I need help to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So, magnesium, moon juice. And the last thing is a sleep mask. This is like the best thing ever. I had a sleep mask and then I started using it religiously. And then this is a new one that I got. It's the same brand. It's from the Earth Therapeutics. As you can see, it kind of goes in flow with like their stuff. I got into wearing a sleep mask because I feel like I bought it and I wasn't using it, and I was like, I need to probably use this at some point. And it kind of thought like the sleep mask, like, this is just too bougie. It makes no sense, right? But I think that getting your sleep is important. And as I've gotten older, I'm in my 30s now. I'm approaching mid 30s. Like, I'm 32, so by the time, so to me, mid 30s, there's something about that. Oh, okay. Mid 30s to me is like starting at 33, to be honest. That's me feeling like I'm in my mid 30s. Because like 35 is like right there. So I'm approaching mid 30s. And so I'm sleeping more, needing more rest. And then I'm making more efforts to make sure that my sleep environment, like on the other side of this camera, this shit looks a mess. But my bed, I try to make my bed, try to make sure that it's comfortable. I try to make sure that I'm warm and toasty or cool, depending on the season. I need to make sure the air is running if it's hot. I need to make sure my pillows are fluffed. But I need to also make sure I have a sleep mask on these days. And, you know, going back to what I said about the lighting, it's great to have a lot of natural light until your ass needs to go to sleep. And you need to block that out. And putting covers over your head isn't necessarily the best. It just isn't, because I feel like I'm suffocating. I ain't gonna lie. I do like to cover my head. It's just a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual weird thing. Like, you're not gonna drag me out my bed. Same thing with my feet being covered. But I grew to like the mask just because I feel like it really does block out a lot of lights. I considered like blackout curtains and things like that, but I mean, to be honest, if you can get this is like pretty effective for what you're gonna do. It probably is gonna block out most of the light unless you're like uncovered directly in the sun. Like, you probably will be able to block out most of the light, and it depends on which one you get. This one is pretty good. I mean, the only thing with masks, if you like put it on, is that like the nose bridge part can be really weird depending on how it is. But for the most part, like, this has blocked out a lot of the light. I know that the light is on, but if it was completely dark in here, it would help me. So for me, I like this padding in the front. It feels really soft, and my eyes like don't feel like they're just brushing up against something hard. I mean, you have to worry if you like your eyelashes curl, that like they're slamming into like the front of this. But I don't really care because I don't curl my eyelashes, and if I do, I'll just do it. And then the back part is the reason why I got a new one, is the elastic had worn out. And it started to, this Velcro part is starting to fall apart, and it was catching in the back of my hair and all that kind of shit. So you will know when it's time to get a new one. The elastic will be really worn and stuff like that. So yeah, I put this on, blah, blah, blah. And there's so many of these. I think this was like $10, not 10, maybe 12. I don't think it was over 15. And If it was, damn. But this is like my favorite thing out of everything. Just because it's the one that like blocks out the light. So yeah, these are my favorites. So yeah, those are my sleep things. Definitely this is essential. And then the other things are kind of, I use them when I want to like chill out, you know? Whether it be like this or a spray or something like that. Definitely the lighting, I try to do that. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. I know it was a longer video, but look, thanks for watching. I gave you something to think about. Okay, take care. I'll talk to you guys later.